Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Now, yesterday we dropped a video in regards to Errol Spence and his genius in using his relationship with the WBC in order to get a fight with Sebastian Fundora next. The benefit of doing this was that if he got that opportunity and was successful in defeating Sebastian Fundora, he would set himself up for an opportunity to face Terrence Crawford at 154 pounds instead of 147 or 154, but giving up a sizable amount of the split. We all know that Terrence Crawford was trying to use the weight class in order to get better terms for the rematch. But Terrence Crawford's team is saying, guys, not so fast. Now, we know that what I said yesterday was assuming that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence won their respective fights. However, Team Bernie is saying it's not going to be that easy of a fight for Errol Spence. So let me play this clip from Bernie the Boxer from yesterday, and I want to come back and react to it.
What was your thoughts? What was maybe Vomac's thoughts? What was maybe Crawford's thoughts also when the news came out that Fundora is going to fight Spence? I believe the fight is likely to happen in like November-ish or something like that. And now it seems like Fundora is going to vacate the WBO belt. So I'm like 95% sure it's going to be on the line for Crawford. So and his fight coming up with Madrimov. So what was your kind of thoughts, man?
It's only right. I thought we was coming into an era where the best would start to fight the best more frequent, and we didn't get that. For some odd reason they got it out for Spence. But all roads lead to Crawford, so it don't matter. We just wanted the title. We just wanted a shot at the title. We just want a chance to make history and keep having the reason to get up out the bed and go to the gym. So either way, I done said it 1,000 times before, and it might sound like a cliche, but it's true. When one door closes, another one opens. So it is what it is. We don't have no ill will toward Errol Spence or Fundora. They're doing smart by staying away from Bud Crawford. I can't say they dumb. I think they might be on the smart side.
Who do you favor in that fight, anyways, man?
I got Fundora. I don't see Spence being a dominant junior middleweight. I don't see that. Got good name value, but I don't see him being a dominant junior middleweight. I don't think he hits as hard as Tim Tszyu, and I just don't see that. Like I say, so
I want to forward it to this other part because he actually doubled down on this a little bit harder as well.
Paying attention to a lot of stuff as well. We tweeted out like, "Hey, this might be the last."
You got some more in the tank to give.
And it walks off into the sunset. How do you kind of read that?
Well, maybe a little sympathy, maybe a little empathy for I still think he got some more in the tank to give. I don't know how dominant he's going to be, but I still think he has a lot to give. But I mean, he already accomplished a lot, and if he retired, that's on him. If he decides to retire, he probably is going to retire after Fundora beat his ass. Shit, Fundora going to beat his ass. I don't see him beating Fundora.
So there we go. Now, seldom do I agree with Bernie the Boxer, but in this regard, I do, and I want to make it clear what I agree with him. When one door closes, another door opens. I totally agree with that. It's 100% spot on, regardless of how cliche it sounds. And the other aspect of what I agree with is the punching power for Errol Spence at 154 pounds. Errol is not a one-punch knockout artist. Errol is a guy that has to wear you down. Now, this whole notion that that he will just beat Errol Spence's ass, Sebastian Fundora. I mean, here's my thing. Spence coming in as a southpaw, I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight for sure. The challenge is going to be a hard fight for Errol Spence. I mean, it's a tough fight for him taking this fight initially. I truly do believe that. And this is no disrespect to Errol, man. You guys know I love Errol. But I would have rather seen Errol take a tune-up first, get himself back into the ring, knock the rust off, take a tune-up, and then get into the ring with somebody like Sebastian Fundora first. But we know Errol doesn't like to take any kind of shortcuts. He likes to get right back in there. He doesn't believe in tune-ups. Errol's strength is also Sebastian Fundora's strength, right? Sebastian Fundora wants to fight on the inside. That's where he's best at. And he has a pretty high work rate when he gets on the inside. So Errol's going to have to be very defensively responsible and figure out a way to break Sebastian Fundora down. Not only break him down, but get on the inside. Now, I don't know if Sebastian Fundora is going to try to use his range. Errol's going to have to attempt to jab his way to the inside, which is going to be challenging with Sebastian Fundora and just his southpaw stance is going to be different from what Tim Tszyu was able to accomplish against Sebastian Fundora. So as easy as Tim Tszyu was able to get on the inside and start to catch Sebastian Fundora in those early rounds, with Spence being a southpaw, I don't see it being as easy to do the exact same thing. So it's going to be a challenging fight for Errol. If it's the Errol that we knew at 147 pounds prior to the Terrence Crawford fight, and he looks like that Errol, I fully expect Errol to come out there, demonstrate his skill set, and win that fight. I still think it's going to be a tough fight because Sebastian Fundora is a tough fighter. You know what I mean? And with that work weight and that range, yeah, it's going to be a challenging fight. But I think Errol can pull it off, just like I think Terrence Crawford can win that fight. I think both of those gentlemen can win that fight. But man, if it's the Errol that we saw against Terrence Crawford, where the footwork is not necessarily there like it needs to be, so forth and so on, a little bit of that rust on him, then this is going to be a long night for Errol. So, I'm not going to pick Sebastian Fundora, but personally, I would not be, you wouldn't get a strong argument from me in regards to who's going to win that fight. If you say you believe Fundora is going to win that fight, I can understand why you believe Fundora is going to win that fight, and I'm not going to push back. I have not had the opportunity to really study, both gentlemen's style and think about how those styles are really going to match up. But my first inclination is that Errol is going to have more challenges trying to get on the inside than we saw with Tim Tszyu just because of the stance. And even when he gets on the inside, Sebastian Fundora actually likes to fight on the inside. For a guy that's 6'6" in that range, and you would expect him to want to use his range, he is actually not as effective from range. It seems like you can slip his shots and get on the inside quite easily if you're coming out of an orthodox stance. Versus the inside, where it seems like he really gets off. That's his thing. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But Bernie is predicting that Errol's going to get his ass whooped and might get knocked out. I don't know about that. Anything is possible in the sport of boxing, just like it's possible for Israel Madrimov to defeat Terrence Crawford. Anything's possible. So we'll see what ends up happening. I am curious to see what you guys have to say about this. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll drop a poll. Let me know what you think about the fight. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast at NL Sports Media, and I am